人を知ることは海を知ることに似ている。表面は穏やかでも深く潜れば、そこには見たことのない暗闇や潮の流れがある。私たちは日々多くの人と関わっています。友人、恋人、同僚、家族。その中でこの人はどんな人なのだろうと、心の奥で問いかけたことはありませんか？しかし、不思議なことに、多くの人はその答えを間違った場所で探します。見た目、経歴、言葉の上手さ、笑顔の明るさ。それらは確かに印象を形作りますが、ユング心理学の観点から見ると、本質を知る手がかりにはならないのです。ユングはこう語りました。人間の本質は意識よりも無意識の中に現れる。つまり、人を本当に知りたければ、その人が意図的に見せている部分ではなく、無意識に現れてしまう行動や選択を見なければならないのです。では、どうすればそれが見えるのか？ユングは2つのポイントを提示します。この2つを観察するだけで、その人の本質が驚くほど鮮明に浮かび上がる。人は何も持たない時よりも、力や影響力を手にした瞬間に本性が出ます。立場が上になった時、部下や弱い立場の人にどう接するか。自分に有利な状況で公平さを保てるか。誰も見ていない時でも誠実さを選べるか。これらは普段の会話や笑顔では隠せません。権力や影響力はその人の中の絵をあらわにするからです。ユングは言います。影は力を得た瞬間に顔を出す。だからこそ、その人の力の使い方を観察することが第一の鍵になるのです。逆に全てを失った時、お金、立場、愛情、健康、そうした支えを失った瞬間、人はどんな振る舞いをするのか？助けを求められるか？他者の成功を病むのか？祝福できるのか？絶望の中でも小さな希望を見出せるのか？これは外側からの装飾が剥がれ落ちた状態です。ユングはこの時にこそ自己の核が見えると言いました。失った時に残るものがその人の真実だ。つまりこの2つ、力を持った時と全てを失った時、ここにその人の魂の設計図が隠されているのです。その前にあなたに質問です。あなたの周りの人は力を手にしたとき、そして失ったとき、どんな態度を見せますか？ぜひコメント欄に書き残してください。それが誰かにとっての人を見る新しい視点になるかもしれません。ユング心理学では、人間の行動の大半は、意識ではなく無意識によって決定されると考えられています。つまり、私たちが自分はこういう人間だと信じている自己像は、実際には氷山の一角に過ぎないということです。この無意識は普段の生活の中ではうまく隠れています。しかし、極端な状況に置かれると、その姿が抑えきれずに表に出てきます。極端な状況とは何か？それこそが先ほど触れた力を持った時と全てを失った時です。権力、影響力、金銭的余裕、または特別な情報。これらを手にしたとき、人は自分の欲望や恐れを抑える必要がなくなります。優しさを装っていた人が急に傲慢になる。公平を語っていた人が身内だけを優遇する。正義感を掲げていた人が自分の利益を優先する。これらは偶然ではありません。力はその人の絵を拡大鏡のように映し出すからです。ユングの言葉を借りれば、影は光が強くなるほど、より濃く現れる。一方で、何も持たなくなったとき、人は外面を飾る余裕を失います。プライドも、作り笑いも、形だけの礼儀も、すべて剥がれ落ちます。その時に現れるのは、他者を恨む心か、それとも他者と分かち合う心か、現実を呪う声か、それとも希望を見出す視線か。失った時に残るものこそ、 その人の精神の骨格です。ユングはこう述べています。人は何も持たないとき、その本質を隠せない。この2つの場面は人間の無意識の設計図をあらわにします。そして、その設計図を読むことができれば、あなたは人を見る目を格段に深めることができるでしょう。ではあなたに質問です。あなたは力を持ったときとすべてを失ったとき、自分はどんな態度をとると思いますか？コメント欄で教えてください。それがあなたの自己理解の第一歩になるはずです。ユングは人間の心をペルソナ、仮面とシャドウ、影という概念で説明しました。ペルソナは社会で生きるために身につける見せる顔。礼儀、役割、イメージ。これは他者に好印象を与えるための意識的な構築物です。一方、シャドウは意識的に隠そうとする自分の一部。怒り、嫉妬、支配欲、弱さ、依存心。これらは表に出すと批判される、あるいは自分でも認めたくない側面です。その理由は、このペルソナとシャドウの関係にあります。普段、私たちはペルソナで自分を整えています。しかし、力を持ったときは、ペルソナを守る必要が薄れ、隠していたシャドウが行動に混ざり込みます。逆に、すべてを失ったときは、ペルソナを維持する力そのものが失われ、シャドウがむき出しになります。つまりこの2つの状況は、ペルソナの鎧が外れる瞬間なのです。例えば、あなたが信頼していた人が、昇進して急に態度が変わったとしましょう。それは単に偉くなったからではなく、その人の中の隠れた欲望があらわになっただけかもしれません。また、逆に全てを失った友人が、他者を助けたり笑顔を見せたりするなら、その人の核には強さと優しさが刻まれている可能性が高いのです。この視点を持つと人間関係は大きく変わります。表面的な言葉や態度に惑わされず、その人の本質に近づけるようになります。信頼できる人とそうでない人を見分けられる。自分を守る距離感を適切に取れる。人に期待しすぎて傷つくことが減る。ユング心理学は、自分を知ることと他者を知ることは表裏一体だと教えています。他者の影を理解できる人は自分の影も受け入れられるのです。あなたは最近、ペルソナの鎧が外れた瞬間の誰かを見たことがありますか？それはどんな時で、あなたはどう感じましたか？ぜひコメント欄に書き残してください。ここからは、この2つの瞬間をどう日常生活で見抜き、活用するかをお話しします。ユング心理学の知恵は、単なる分析ではなく、生き方の指針として使えるものです。昇進、成功、人気、金銭的余裕。こうした場面で、その人はどんな言葉を選びますか？自分の成果ばかり語るのか？周囲への感謝を自然に口にするのか？自慢話ばかりなのか、それとも聞き役になれるのか？そして、言葉だけでなく沈黙も重要です。権力を手にした人が沈黙を威圧に使うのか、それとも安心に使うのかで、その本質は大きく変わります。失業、破産、失恋、病気。こうした時、その人はどんな選択をするでしょうか？誰かを巻き込んででも立ち直ろうとする。孤立してからに閉じこもる。弱さを認め、任に助けを求める。絶望の中でも誰かを思いやる。ここで見えるのは、その人の精神の木です。器が広い人は、苦しい時ほど他者への思いやりを失いません。この2つの瞬間を観察することは、信頼できる人間関係を築くための羅針盤になります。安易に人を理想化しない。裏切られても過剰に傷つかない。長期的に安心できる人間関係を選べる。これは恋愛にも仕事にも友人関係にも有効です。さらに重要なのは、この観察を自分自身にも向けること。力を持った時、自分はどうなるのか。 すべてを失った時、自分は何を選ぶのか。これを意識することで、自分のペルソナとシャドウのバランスを保ちやすくなります。あなたは、力を持った時、すべてを失った時の自分を想像できますか？その時、どんな行動を選びたいですか？コメント欄で教えてください。ここからは、この観察法を具体的な人間関係の場面に落とし込み、ユング心理学が示す真の信頼の作り方を掘り下げていきます。恋愛初期は多くの人がペルソナを強く保っています。優しさ、配慮、共感すべてが意識的に演出されたものかもしれません。しかし、時間が経ち、どちらかが成功や承認を得たとき、あるいは経済的、精神的に困難な状況に陥ったとき、そこで現れる態度が本当の愛情の質を示します。パートナーの成功を心から喜べるか、困難な時に一緒に耐えられるか、弱みを見せても拒絶せず支え合えるか。これらは恋愛の化学反応を超えて魂の信頼を育てる土台となります。職場でも同じです。上司や同僚の本質は昇進や成果の場面であらわになります。権力を得た瞬間、部下を大切にするか見下すか。失敗や損失の時、責任を引き受けるか他人に押し付けるか。この瞬間を観察することで、その人の仕事上の信頼度を測れます。家族関係では、表面的な役割が長く続くため、この2つの瞬間を見る機会は意外と少ないものです。しかし、病気や経済的困難、遺産や相続などの極端な状況になると、その人の真の価値観がはっきりと見えます。ユングはこう語ります。人は危機の時、無意識の人格を生きる。つまり、こうした極限の場面は、その人がどれだけ自分の影を統合しているかを示す試金石なのです。あなたは最近、身近な人の極限の瞬間を見たことがありますか？その時、何を感じ、どう行動しましたか？ぜひコメント欄で教えてください。ここまでお話ししてきた力を持った時と、すべてを失った時という2つの瞬間は、単なる観察テクニックではありません。これは人を知るための心理的レントゲンです。現代は情報や演出があふれる時代です。SNS の投稿、会話のテクニック、イメージ戦略。これらはペルソナを強固にし、本質を見えにくくします。だからこそ、極端な状況における反応を見ることが、その人の無意識にアクセスする唯一の近道になるのです。この視点を持つと、ただ人を見抜くだけではなく、自分自身を深く知ることにもつながります。力を持ったとき、自分は謙虚でいられるか。失ったとき、他者への優しさを保てるか。これらの問いは、自己成長の羅針盤になります。ユングはこう言います。他者の影を理解することは、自分の影を受け入れることでもある。本質を知った上で築かれる信頼は、表面的な関係とは比べ物になりません。そこには駆け引きも虚勢もなく、ただあるがままの自分と相手がいます。その関係は長い時間と数々の試練を経ても崩れません。なぜなら、すでに互いの影と光を知り、受け入れているからです。あなたの周りには、力を持った時と、すべてを失った時を見た人はいますか？その瞬間、あなたは何を感じ、どう振る舞いましたか？そして、あなた自身はもし明日、すべてを手に入れたり失ったりしたら、どんな自分が顔を出すと思いますか？ぜひコメント欄で教えてください。どこからこの動画を見てくれているのか、今どんな人間関係や人生の局面にいるのか、その物語はきっと他の誰かの視野を広げるきっかけになります。もし今日のお話があなたの心に響いたなら、いいねとチャンネル登録で、これからも一緒に、と光の心理学を深めていきましょう。ユングの言葉を胸に刻みながら、人の本質は極端な瞬間にこそ現れる。その目で世界を見れば、 あなたの人間関係も人生も、これまでとは全く違う景色を見せてくれるはずです。
You like to find fresh, new, expanded, more specific details of your desire? Do you know that your desire, in its fullest fulfillment, is certain? Well, when you know that, then your desire is sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. To carve out preference with the knowledge that it's just a matter of preparing the vibrational readiness and that the details will flow in perfection, timing perfection, fun perfection. In other words, perfection meaning the details of your desire will flow to you, of course, when you are ready for them, but in the perfection of your readiness for them. You know how you don't want to pick that hard, green, not yet ripe fruit from the tree and eat it just because it was on the calendar? I set a goal to eat this today. And I'm going to eat you today, whether you are ready for me to enjoy you or not. And sometimes you set goals like that. It's like, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it in this timing because, and we say, you don't have a good reason. Because I said that I would, and I told others. And if I don't do it when I said I was going to do it, or when they said they wanted me to do it, I might look bad. So I'm just going to pretend like this fruit is sweet. And we want you to get into the rhythm of the natural unfolding of things. But it's hard for you to do that if you don't trust in it, if you don't know. People talk about possibilities. We don't. We talk about certainties. People talk about probabilities. And we want you to feel the certainty of your creation. But before you can feel that certainty, you have to understand how the laws work, and you have to understand what you feel like in relationship to your own desire. Esther has great fun in the produce section. It knocks her over with its beauty. But everything there isn't ready for her enjoyment. It was ready for the store to sell it, but it isn't ready to be enjoyed today. So she just sort of picks around. And she only takes home what's ready to eat today. How about you? You take that hard green stuff home? So if you're feeling around and only taking home what's ready, you have an expectation. You can tell by the way it feels what it's going to be like when you experience it, can't you? And we want you to know that you can tell by the way it feels. Now, we don't want you feeling people. I don't know if I'm ready for you or if you're ready for me. We want you to feel. We want you to feel your way to the ripeness of things, to the ripeness. Maybe that's a perfect word to integrate into the conversation about creation, because you really don't want things to come to you before they are ready for you or before you are ready for them, but you think you do, because you think you have adjustment capabilities that we know you don't have. You think wrong person, right time, or right person, wrong time. You think that they can come to you and you will adjust to them. And we want you to know, unless it's right, it isn't right. And when you participate in things that either you're not ready for or that aren't ready for you, then you don't have a good experience. And then you start making lists and setting goals and making decisions with your brain instead of with your guidance. And then life becomes harder. And almost everyone you know around you is doing that too. So it seems like the normal approach And while it might be normal in terms of what most humans are doing, it certainly isn't the most fun. It certainly isn't the most productive. It certainly doesn't feel the best when it's happening. And it certainly doesn't give you the best results. What gives you the best results is doing the work that is your work to do. And that is much simpler than most of you are making it out to be. So, what is your work? Why did you come? Why are you here? What's it all about? Alfie? Why are you here? Why are you here? What is this day meant to be for you? Is it supposed to be meaningful? Of course. Is it supposed to be hard? Never. Is it supposed to be productive? Yes, of course. Is it supposed to feel good? Yes, 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 yes. Will it provide expansion? Undoubtedly. No question about that. The question is not, is this moment in time going to be productive for you? Because it must be. The question is not, will it cause expansion? Of course, that's not the question. The answer to that is yes, 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 because it must be. The only question is, will this moment in time feel good to me? Does it feel good to me? And the answer to that is, are you letting it be that way? Have you prepared yourself vibrationally to allow it to be that way? We've been teasing you a bit lately by saying, you really don't want all the food that you will eat forevermore to be in front of you today. Here it is. This is this lifetime's quantity. And you have 3 hours. Or 12 hours, or 24 hours, or 36 hours. You really don't want all the food that you will participate in to come to you today. Do you? Say no, you don't. The buffet here may make you feel differently at first. Esther and friends walked through it last night and decided that they did want to eat everything that they would eat for the rest of their life today. But an hour later, they weren't telling the same story. You don't want it all today. You want it incrementally, in the right timing. And the right timing, from our perspective, means in the readiness, in your readiness to receive the fullness of it, to your greatest capacity. So, you've been listening to us for a while, haven't you? And you know that everything that we talk about is about your vibrational alignment. Not only with who you are, but with all that you've been asking for, which is the same thing as saying all that you are. Can you hear that distinction? Because when your life has caused you to know what you don't want and therefore to ask for what you do want, even if you don't put words to it, you're asking vibrationally. You cannot have an experience unwanted without its wanted equivalent vibrating from you, coming out of you like a rocket. So you have been moving through your experience asking for what you are wanting. And the source within you has been not just hearing it and not just recognizing it and not just identifying it and not just understanding it, but the source within you has been becoming the vibrational equivalent of each and every facet of the multifaceted desires that you are shooting forth. In other words, incrementally, the source within you has been becoming that fuller version based upon what you've been carving out. When you don't have enough money, your inner being becomes more prosperous because in your feeling of the absence of something wanted, the presence of it is equally known and understood by that larger part of you. Do you get that? Don't you always know more fully what you do want when you're living what you don't want? You're not good at talking about what you do want when you're living what you don't want. You're mostly talking about what you don't want in an effort to explain to others how it's not the way it's supposed to be. As you defend and rationalize and justify and explain, sort of like you're saying to your mother, see the absence of goodness in my life, what are you going to do about it to fulfill it? But the source within you, law of attraction, all the power of the universe, the energy that creates worlds, is not giving you what you need. It's giving you what you want. It's giving you what you desire. It's giving you what you've asked for. So the question isn't, are you asking and is it being given? Because the answer to that is always yes, yes, yes. Yes, it's being given. And it's being given right now. It's being given right now. But the bigger question that you really want to ask and we really want to answer is, am I standing in a vibrational place of allowing what I've been asking for? And the question is a big question, and the answer we want you to hear, the answer is yes, to a certain extent you are always allowing some of it. Some of it because you can't help it. You can't help but be the receiver of what you're asking for to some degree. But you are often holding it off way longer than it needs to be because the work that you think you're supposed to do isn't the work that you want to do in order to put yourself in the place of readiness. Have we built up suspense? What is the readiness? What is the readiness that you must accomplish? What is it that you have to be ready for? You have to be vibrationally equivalent to your own desire. You have to be vibrationally ready. So when your life causes you to know you don't want this, you shoot out a rocket of what you do want, but in fairness to you, when you've just lived through something that you know with every fiber of your being that you don't want, you're not vibrationally ready for its opposite. You're not vibrationally ready for the abundance that you say you want. You're not. You can't complain about not having enough money and be vibrationally ready for the avalanche of money that will come to you as soon as you be ready. You can't complain about what's not working and be vibrationally ready for what you want to work. The question and the answer are vibrationally different, very different. The problem and the solution are vibrationally very different. So when you feel disappointment, that's your guidance saying, you're not up to speed with the solution you seek. You are vibrationally equivalent to the problem, and you're still sending the rockets, and we're still lining up with them, and law of attraction is still gathering in your vortex of creation all of the cooperative components that will one day be the filling in the grid, the fulfillment, manifestation, the fulfilling in the grid, the manifestation, the realization, the actualization, all the stuff you want. You're going to see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it when you're ready. And almost everyone we speak with would say, I'm ready now. And we say, no, you're not. Because when you're ready, it's happening. And you say, oh, you gotta be kidding. I don't really know that I'm ready until it happens. That's how I know? Well, then how do I get ready? How do I get ready if I don't know I am ready until it happens? And we say, figure it out. And we mean it. Because we've been telling you and telling you and telling you and telling you and telling you. In other words, in every possible analogy and example that we could offer you, but words don't teach, do they? So, when you understand the process, when you understand that anything you ask for can be yours, because if this time-space reality has the wherewithal to inspire it within you, it has the wherewithal to deliver the goods in the fullness of that which you have imagined as you have asked. In other words, you can be deprived of nothing that your life has caused you to know that you want. You cannot be deprived of it. It is a sure thing. But you can hold it off for indefinite periods of time by your simple attention to its absence. And that's really what we want to help you with here today. We want to show you how, if you can just distract yourself from the absence of the specifics of what you want, in diffusing that vibration that is contradictory, which is therefore causing a resistance in your frequency, which is therefore mixing up your signal and depriving you of the realization, the manifestation, the actualization. If we can convince you that you got to stop caring about the having of it, and when you stop caring about the being, doing, having of it, and instead you are satisfied with the feeling of it, in that feeling, which is general, you can achieve vibrational sameness with it, and now you're ready. When you find the feeling place of what you want, and you practice it enough that it's what comes up first, so that when you're talking with friends and they say, how you doing? You are doing great, and you want them to know it. And when they probe for details of manifestations, you say, too soon to talk about that. Don't want to upset my vibrational apple cart. Don't want to focus upon the specifics of that, because the specifics of that are not yet in place. And if I focus upon the specifics that are currently missing, I will mess up my vibration and slow my process and become less prepared, less ready. So today we want to talk to you about your point of attraction and about how you feel as you stand in your point of attraction and about what you can do to alter your point of attraction to allow more of what you want to be attracted by you. If we were to stop talking, which is not likely, and ask you to give us a list of things that you desire. We know that you could. We know that you could give us a list of things that you desire. We also know that you are wanting more practice in being a vibrational match to those things. So when you started out by talking about how this breakup, which was painful to you, set you off on a spiritual quest or a spiritual journey, we know that what you mean by that is that you want to do a more deliberate job of offering your vibration in the direction of what you want instead of in the vibration of what you've got. The thing that we want to say to all of you in a way that you can hear it as if volume would make a difference, it doesn't, is that if you could get to this place in a week or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or a month or 2 or 3 or 4, 3 months, 3 months. If you could, for 3 months, set the subject of relationship aside, the subject of relationship with another human aside, and if you could focus only upon your mood and attitude about all other subjects, so that you could enhance the relationship that you already have with your inner being. You're such a sensitive person, and that's such a good thing. But the reason that you would describe yourself as sensitive is because you hurt yourself often with your own thoughts about things. It doesn't matter what somebody else thinks. It only matters what you think about what you think they're thinking about. You're the only one who can plunk those trains in opposition, you see. So we want to pronounce to you in a very bold and loud way, nothing's gone wrong. Nothing went wrong except you had a clarifying experience, because things are always working out for you. We wanted to jump in the opening words that you were offering and say to you, this is the best thing that has ever happened to you, because moving down that road was going against so many things that we know are in your vortex. Your inner being is not going to encourage you toward a relationship of any kind, whether it's a very fast one or a very long one, that is not in vibrational harmony with who you really are and what you really want. But you know what happens? Sometimes absence of a relationship makes you think that presence of any relationship is a good thing. And that's just not true. Did you hear what we said? Well, we'll tell you what we really mean. You think, oh, any relationship's better than no relationship. Any relationship is not better than no relationship, because in the absence of another person, you might have an opportunity to form a conscious, deliberate relationship, meaning mood and attitude and vibrational alignment with your own inner being. And when you line up, with who you really are, it is our promise to you that in that absence of resistance, the person that you are looking for is going to come into your experience with such swiftness and such clarity. And as you meet this person, there will be no question in either of your minds. You won't be playing those games. You won't be testing each other. You won't be dragging up the past. You won't be trying to get somebody to make promises that they're not ready to make. They will already have gestated, and they will already be at the point of alignment for you, you see. Do you understand how this vibrational reality works? With everything that you've been living, and it's been enough. We're not saying that you need more data to collect in order to create the perfect relationship. You've already created it, and that relationship exists in your vibrational reality. But you are nowhere near, and we don't want to be harsh, because almost everybody, we would be saying the same thing to them about so many things that they want. You're nowhere near being a vibrational match to what you want. You are so often not a vibrational match to what you want. And then what you don't want, which you are a vibrational match to, keeps coming. Do you know most people are more of a vibrational match to doubt in relationships than they are to living happily ever after? And so you get some of what you want and some of what you don't want, and some of what you want and some of what you don't want. And then you say, you need to be different, because I'm getting some of what I want and some of what I don't want. I need somebody who'll just give me what I want, what I want, what I want, but I keep getting what I want and what I don't want. So you need to be different. And we say, nobody can be different than what you're outputting. Nobody can be different than what you're outputting. If you want them to clean up their act, you got to clean up your act first. You've got to be a vibrational match, which means you can't harbor thoughts of doubt. You can't worry about those things you're worrying about and then try to get somebody else to promise you that they won't do those things that you're worried about. It never works. When you're really worried about something, you're going to attract the very person who's most likely to do that thing that you're worried about. And then you say, I knew it. I knew it. I could feel it all along. And we say, of course you could. Of course you could feel it all along, you see. So when someone moves away from you, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, because it means that what's going on in your vortex and what you really want isn't a vibrational match. So just accept things are always working out for me. And this is one of the best things that has ever happened to me, because it gave me clarity about this and about this and about this. And then tell your general story about relationships in a way that pleases you, and this is the hard part, but you can do it, let your conversation with yourself about what's coming and the joy that you know you're going to live when it does come, let that hold you for 3 months while you clean up your vibration, and then watch what happens. There are 2 important things that we want to say to you. Yes, what you said about not wanting to count on someone else for the way you feel. Most people are living a very conditional experience. So if something that they consider to be wonderful is happening, they feel wonderful. But if something happens that feels disappointed, like not being able to control the desire of another person, then sometimes it feels like you don't have control over the way you feel. And certainly that's natural. We're going to sort that out in just a minute. But we don't want you to jump there so quickly, because it's an important process to have experiences in order to really ascertain what it is that you do want. Because while we know you all believe that you are ready right now to make a very clear statement of desire about many, many things, you could say, we know you believe it, that I know exactly how much money I want to make. We know that you believe that. We also know that your life experience is going to continue to expand, and that right now you don't know what you're going to want forevermore. You don't know where you're going to want to live forevermore. You only know from where you stand what you think would be an improvement to where you are. You are such evolving beings. The whole nature of evolution is about being where you are, and from where you are, getting a new vantage point. So we're going to give it to you just like this. Here you are standing, sifting and sorting, and a rocket of desire shoots out of you. And the rocket of desire feels weird in the beginning because you're not used to it. But then you sort of play the games that we ask you to play, and you do the processes we ask you to process, and you manage to become a vibrational match to this desire, which felt weird just a little bit ago. And now, a vibrational match to it. Now what you want comes to full fruition because you've managed to think about it. And now along with that manifestation comes a whole new set of contrasting experiences that causes you to launch another rocket of desire. This is especially true relative to relationships, especially true relative to those significant relationships. Sometimes you've lived something that has been absence of something that you really wanted, so you launched a strong rocket of desire, and that rocket of desire is disproportionate to other things that matter too. But it's extra inflamed because this relationship caused it to be inflamed. So you're asking in such a strong way, we might even say in a lopsided way, that now you're like that bus that Esther and Jerry were driving down the road, dragging something along behind. That desire is so strong that then law of attraction brings you something that satisfies that desire. So you settle into that relationship and it feels so good. But then life shows you that while that one thing is being satisfied, that there are other things that are important to you too. And you launch those rockets of desires. And so it takes a lot of exposure to life and exposure to experiences in order for you to create this wonderful desire, this vibrational desire. We've called it a vibrational reality. We called it the vortex of creation. This launching of these rockets, it takes a lot of experience because words don't teach. You could sit with your mother or with a mentor and they could say, from my experience, this is what you want in a mate. Here's the list. Took me years to come to this conclusion, and a lot of it after I was unhappily married for 30 years, they'll tell you. But this is the list that you want. Here's the list of things you want. You would not let anybody give you that list. It's only life experience that gives you that list. But we want you to know it's not acquiring the list that keeps you from living happily ever after earlier in your life experience. It's not being a vibrational match to the list that you've gathered. We want you to realize that you want someone who is nice, someone who's considerate, someone who cares about you, someone who cares about himself also. You want someone who is easy to be with. You want someone who's energetic and alive. You want someone who gets up and greets the day happily. You want someone who rises easily to feeling good. You want someone who is critical hardly ever at all. You don't want someone who's a doormat. You don't want someone who will do anything that you ask them to do. You want someone who's a thinking person. You want someone who's had some life experience. You want someone who's eager about life. You want someone who dresses well and who likes money and who likes nice things and who drives a nice car. There are lots of things that over lifetime you have gathered, but most of all, you want someone who is intuitive enough to know when they are in alignment and when they are not in alignment. You want someone who understands that they create their own reality and who is willing to take responsibility for their own. You've created a really good list of things that you want, but you are like so many people. You are often not a vibrational match to your own list. So since you've got a mixed bag of vibrations going on, your attraction power is not clean yet. It's not in pure vibrational alignment with what you want, because you put an engine going this way and 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 an engine going this way. So you've got this vibrational point of attraction going, and of course what you are attracting right now has some of what you want and some of what you don't want, some of what you want in absence of some of what you want. So what we're saying to you, we would not encourage you to want that relationship to turn around when you are still in the process of defining what it is you really want in a relationship. So there was a shift in your expectation is a wonderful concept, because expectation is the marriage between desire and belief. In fact, we could say you get what you expect. It's accurate to say you get what you believe, but it's more poignant to say you get what you expect. So if you want something and you don't expect it, it doesn't come about. But that's why after you've had the experience, quite often somebody who's sat in this hot seat before can come again and again and again and again and again, because they just expect to be there. They know they're going to have a good dialogue and they just expect to be there. And so their expectation equals their point of attraction. You think Abraham is choosing you. You're choosing you. You're choosing you. You're choosing you. We're just the cooperative component. It's the way it is with everything. Everything is that way. There's nothing that is arbitrarily or in some sort of control dictating what happens in your life experience. It's only you. You choose it all. But a lot of times you're not choosing it deliberately. That's why we're talking about these tools that you can use so that you can choose in ways that are more satisfying to you. So you are not puppets on a string. You are co-creators. And there is knowledge of how things work that is deep in the DNA, if you want to call it that, of your inner being. And so here you are out here, little chicks, digging things up and moving through life and coming to new desires and putting desires in the vortex that your inner being then knows about. And as you create a problem, you also create a solution which your inner being focuses upon and then gives you real-time information about how to turn that new thought, so new that it's not even a thought, it's still a vibration, that vibration to a thought and that thought to a thing. Your inner being immediately knows all of that and is feeding that to you real-time. And if you're tuned in, you get the impulse and you know what to do. You don't have to get it from a book. You don't have to go to some sort of school to learn how to satisfy your own quests in life experience, you see. Do you like that story? Yes. Do you like understanding who you really are? Do you like understanding how it works?